Hello everybody, this is AskJoshy. I'm here with Kaeyoh from Tempo Storm. Do you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, sure. Hey, thanks for having me. As you mentioned, I'm Kaeyoh. I'm the assassin player for Tempo Storm. We're one of the top teams in North American competitive scene right now. And yeah, it's good to be here hanging out at the event.
Yeah, do you want to tell us about the event that we're at right now?
So this is the YouTube party for the launch of Heroes of the Storm. Game's finally out. We got to see some competitive matches today. We saw Kyle Berkeley playing against C9, and then we also got to see some new stuff. We got to see the Butcher, some of the new maps, really cool stuff. We're really excited. You know, already just going over all the new possibilities and strategies and stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah, did you expect Butcher to be an assassin character?
No, actually, no, definitely not. I think he's gonna do a good job of fitting more of that like bruisery assassin role though, which is something we haven't seen as much. So you know that's gonna be really interesting to see. He's got a very strange kit compared to most of the characters that are out right now.
Yeah, so if you want to catch up on the Butcher and all the announcements that took place, just Google Mayhem Begins Heroes of the Storm. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/BlizzHeroes or Twitch.tv/BlizzHeroes will probably have the VOD. But that's where we're at right now, interviewing some players from Cloud9, Tempo Storm, some of the YouTubers that are here. And Kaeyoh, why don't you tell us a little bit about your team, Tempo Storm, and some of the accomplishments that you guys have?
So, as a team, we've been together for a very long time. We started out as a team called Symbiote Gaming back in the alpha days, and most of us have remained the same roster, been playing together ever since. We were the crowned Kings of the Alpha, and also Kings of the Beta now with this recent WCA win. We're going to be going to play in China later this year for that championship. But yeah, we've all have a competitive background. We all come together and you know just really love playing the game, and yeah, we've been doing very well.
All right, so what is it like playing in the North American competitive scene right now for Heroes?
So the North American scene is definitely a little different than the other regions. Currently, you know, you have your main top teams like Cloud9 and us, and there's 2ARC and some other that are kind of hovering around there. But there's a considerably less teams than in regions like EU right now, where there's huge amounts of teams, like 60+ teams signing up for tournaments. So as far as like team volume goes, it's a little bit smaller, but overall, I mean, the quality of matches are really high, and it's been a lot of fierce competition. I'd say our rivals are C9 Maelstrom. We've had a lot of back and forth with them, and it's always fun to play through that rivalry.
That's true. You guys have met up several times in the last month or two, and I know that series have gone both ways. Do you actually scrim them a lot as well, or just match time?
Well, it kind of depends on the time frame. I mean, if we're getting ready for a tournament, we tend to stay away from them because we know we're going to be facing them. A lot of times we're working on strategies where it's like we don't want them to see the strategies, we don't want them to play against our strategies, so we just try not to do too much with them. But we've done a lot of practice with them in the past, and yeah, it's always fun scrimming them.
Cool. So what is your practice like during times where there's not an event this coming weekend, it's just regular old living in the house, playing together? What is your practice schedule like during those times? Yeah,
so during those times where it's a little bit slower, we're usually focused a little bit more on doing things like streaming, and we're always trying to put out content, give back to the community. We've been putting out guides. TempoStorm.com recently released our guide section for Heroes, so if you want to check out guides there, we've been working hard on that. But that's the kind of thing that we're usually doing during that downtime. We still do practice and scrim, but definitely not nearly as hard as we do during boot camp mode.
Okay, so let's describe boot camp mode now. When you were prepping for WCA, for example, how do things change around the house and around the team?
Yeah, things change really drastically. When it comes to boot camping mode, everybody is very serious, very committed to the game. There's a lot less messing around. We scrim, like 8 hours a day, pretty much every day of the week. We're watching replays constantly. It really does feel like it's a grind during that time, but you're working for something that's worth it. So during that time, we're just constantly scrimming, going over replays, and just trying to squeeze in some time to eat and sleep and all that.
All right, very dedicated to your craft. Do do you ever play solo or stream at all, or is it just all team all the time?
So different members of the team kind of have their own place where they stay on that. I personally really love solo queue. I do it more than anybody else on the team by far. And I'll solo queue sometimes like 3 to 4 hours a day outside of our team practice scrimming. But other people on the team aren't as much of a fan of solo queue and just stick to more of the group queue. But when it comes to scrims and stuff like that, it's it's all through customs. And if we don't have a team that we're playing against, then we'll go into the hero leagues and the team leagues, and we'll just play in that way. And that's always good too, to build synergy and everything like that. So I think a mix is important. But I definitely like solo queue. As far as streaming, I definitely do a lot of streaming when I'm playing my solo queue. We don't usually stream any like scrims or anything like that because we're trying to keep our strategies to ourselves. But we definitely do a lot of streaming. You'll see us on all the time on the Heroes channels.
Sweet. What are some of the top lessons that you've learned from playing Heroes competitively?
Okay, so I think one of the major lessons that we've learned is to not try to be too greedy on taking an advantage when you get a small lead. A lot of times in Heroes, if you can get a kill or something like that, you can usually swing the momentum of the game. And because Heroes is such an objective-based game, having control of that momentum is really important. So if you take like too much of a risk and bite off way too much more than you can chew, a lot of times they end up turning it back around on you. So it's good to just keep extending your lead in a controlled way. You want to push your advantage, but you don't want to do it to the point where you risk everything and they end up turning it around on you.
What advice do you have for players who are good at Heroes and are looking to either join a team or create a team around them? What advice do you have for playing in a competitive team?
Okay, I really like this question because it's something that a lot of people ask me as well. And I think really what it comes down to is play a lot of solo queue, meet people, group with those people, play with those people, and then you'll keep meeting better people, keep grouping with better people. The nature of the way that the Heroes of the Storm whole ranking system and everything and Hero League system is based, it really rewards grouping with people and meeting better people as you go. So, every time you play a game and you guys killed it and you have a teammate who was doing really well, add that person, try to group with that person, start playing with that person, you'll keep crushing it. Keep adding people that are at the same skill level, and then you meet the next tier of player and just keep going on like that. That's really the best way to do it.
Yeah, so it's got its own grind involved, essentially. Yeah. And then once you do find those guys, you have a whole separate animal to work with.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well, that's all I've really got for you. Do you want to describe maybe life in the team house in Arizona for us?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting experience. Basically, right now, we have a good time doing it, but there's a lot of responsibility with the house and everything. We basically settled into the point where we're on our routine now, where we're all just kind of streaming, and everything is very manageable. But everybody's constantly having a good time there, and I don't know. It's just been a good experience overall. It's really cool to get that extra synergy and chemistry. Just from being around those players all the time. Recently, when we played our LAN in Burbank, yeah, sorry. When we played that LAN, we have so much experience already from playing next to each other every day, eating together, just talking about the game all the time. And that really came through. It showed how strong we were and how comfortable we were playing together already. Awesome. Sounds like you had a strong advantage when it comes to live play due to the team house. Yeah, exactly. That's great. So yeah, let's just outro it. If there's anyone you'd like to thank, and then follow up with where we can see you and Tempo Storm in the near future. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, of course, a huge shout out to Tempo Storm and our sponsors, Twitch, G2A, Funk, and Namecheap. Those guys are allowing us to keep doing what we love, and it's really awesome. As far as following us, you can follow at Tempo_Storm, and you can follow me personally at Tempo Kaeyoh. And I stream a lot as well. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see the links to the streams all the time and stuff like that. So yeah, come check it out. Also, check out our new guide section on the TempoStorm.com site. It's really nice. We've got not only character-specific guides, but we also have map-specific guides. So that's something that's kind of different and really good if you've got like a new team or something. But yeah, thank you very much. Do you have what's your next match that people might be able to watch you guys play? Our next match, we're going to be playing the ESL. That's coming up this week. I believe we're playing against Maelstrom. So we've got our ESL playoffs coming up, and that'll be our next big thing.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Kaeyoh, for the interview. I wish you guys luck, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks.